Hey, have you ever been stumped about making your first book? Do you ever wonder which is better, traditional or self-publishing? Don't worry, we've got you covered because today we're going to be talking about the biggest secret to traditional versus self-publishing. And if you're new here, I'm Warren Hughes. I am a self-published author of BOLDSAGA. Got an entire series over here. And at one point, I'm also a self-publishing coach. And at one point, I was just like you. I was wondering, how am I actually going to get this done? I had the dream, I had the goal. I grew up on reading Naruto, One Piece. I love One Piece, Dragon Ball Z, Bleach, all these amazing manga series. And I thought, how can I actually get this done? Like, I enjoy this stuff, but how do I actually get it done? And I got to the crossroads where I had to decide, what am I going to do? Is it going to be traditional or is it going to be self-publishing? Like, which is the better route for me? And which is the better route in general overall? So what I came to realize is that traditional and self-publishing, everything has a positive and negative. But I'm going to be talking about the biggest secret to it. And learning this biggest secret could be the difference between, like, over the lifetime of being an author, you have access to some of your wealth, like a percentage, versus accessing the greatest amount of your wealth, versus working a lot and getting a little bit of, return on investment versus, putting in the work and getting paid your worth. So this is super important. So with traditional publishing, that is the one that you generally hear of. That's the, you're working for Viz, you're working for Kodansha, you're working for Yen Press, you're working for, maybe Simon & Schuster or, Penguin. You have to work for a bigger company, and the benefit of that is point blank, very simple. They have the access, they have the capital, they have the fan base. You work with them, you get access to, starting off and, jump starting quickly. But the reality is that it's going to be a lot of headaches. You have to hire an agent, so that's the first thing. In addition to that, you got to shop your book proposal around, and then hopefully someone will give you an offer. And then by that time, you have to pray that you can get an advance, and then God willing, one day you can sign a book deal. All throughout that time, you could lose steam, motivation on your dream. You could give up. Maybe a publisher may say no because what your book about doesn't align with their values, even though your book is something God gave you. You never know. But the reality is that is working with a traditional publisher. That's the old way of publishing. And the reality is that when you work with that old way of making books and publishing, the publisher is going to win. And in essence, you are winning when you work with them, but at the end of the day, they are getting the major benefit out of it. You're getting some benefit, but they're the ones who are going to get the most out of it. Why? Because at the end of the day, they're the ones who actually are going to have the control, not you. It's just how things work. Your publisher could eat the lion's share of your profits. Would you like to do that? You finally make, your first book and then someone else is eating the fruit of your labor? I wouldn't want that. I was just at an event earlier today, and someone had mentioned that culture, code, humanity. And one of the speakers had mentioned that someone was capitalizing off of their superpower. That could be you, kings and queens, when you do a traditional publishing art. It's not the case for everybody. It's a case by case, but the chances of you getting paid your worth through traditional is low. It's very low. But what is the alternative? I'm not the doom and gloom type of person. I'm not going to tell you all the negatives. There has to be an upside, right? Well, there is an alternative. Self-publishing, you creating a business and selling your book. But to get there, you need to learn how to create, protect, and market your book. You have to decide on your price point. You have to decide on your marketing strategy. You get to get paid your worth. Imagine working so hard and getting paid your worth plus more. Wouldn't that be amazing? People not trying to tell you, oh, your idea is this and that. You need to lower your price, this, that, and the third. You decide what your price point is going to be. You decide the content of your book. You will get paid your worth. But what's amazing is that this isn't even the best part yet of self-publishing, because at the end of the day, it started in 1979. That was when people were trying to veer away from the old way of publishing, the traditional route. Self-publishing started when desktop publishing, became. And the irony why this is so interesting to this story, pin in, is that I never used to care about self-publishing at one point. When I was learning graphic design 10 plus years ago, my least favorite class was Graphic Design 3. And what did we learn in Graphic Design 3? Desktop publishing. That was the main thing. I didn't care about that. I was like, when am I going to learn to make my video game and anime characters? That's what I really cared about. Video games and actually making my manga style to the best it could be. But sometimes in life, the thing that you discard could be the treasure. One man's trash is another man's treasure. So that's the goal that I've received. Out of all the things I learned in graphic design, desktop publishing was phenomenal. And I challenge you. You should learn, if you want to make books, you should learn how it works. So the benefit of this desktop publishing, self-publishing, is that it liberates you. You are free. I literally have a hat that says I got no limits, because that's how it feels like when you have self-publishing in your hand when it's working for you, not against you. See, you are liberated because you are in control of your IP. And what's that? It's just another word for intellectual property. So if you ever hear IP, intellectual property, you can eat the profits, you can eat the fruits of your labor. Oh my gosh. And to top it off, here's the secret you don't learn till later. Look, Amazon isn't the best for self-publishing. I know a lot of people say it's the best. I know a lot of people say that they publish their books on Amazon. They're happy, Amazon bestseller list, all that other stuff. It's cute, it's nice, it's great to hear. It's good for an ego boost. But when you get down to the nitty-gritty, when you get down to what's actually happening, here's one thing you won't learn generally until later on. Okay, you won't learn this until later on, unless you've published through Amazon or someone told you. Okay, every time someone buys your book off of Amazon, you don't learn this till it's too late. They don't share customer data, kings and queens. Imagine that. You put in all your work. You finally get your first book done. You worked so hard to get it done. And then now what happens? They're not going to give you the customer data? What? And what am I even talking about when I say customer data? Okay. Jim and Dana, let's say Jim and Dana bought your book. Let's say your book is called Awesome Book One. They bought your awesome book one that you wrote, you created, you worked so hard. It finally took you, after 10 years of saying you're going to get it done, you got it done. Jim and Dana buy your book, right? But you will never know Jim and Dana's name. You'll never know where Jim and Dana are from, like their state, or the location on the planet where they bought it from, You will never know their email. You will never know their phone number. You will never know all these important little data points that you can gather along the customer journey. It's crazy to me that people don't even think about this, but everyone keeps telling you Amazon, Amazon, and that's just one of the things that it's customer data. You don't learn these things until it's too late, until you actually are in the steps of working through, making your book. So why does this matter? Well, when you publish your book, you need your customer data to retarget your customer. Why does that matter? When you can retarget your customer, that means that you can literally follow up with them. And a wise person once said, the fortune is in the follow-up, not just making the initial sale. It's not about just getting the sale once. How can we get the sale once, and then when we make another book, get another sale by retargeting that customer? If they bought it once, if you share it with a friend, can you let more people know? And then maybe you can get like a discount for that. Maybe as you share more, you may get special access behind the scenes. Give people that VIP, that red carpet, that super fan experience. This is the benefit of when you actually provide a top tier diamond class experience for people. You're not going to be able to do that when you have on Amazon, because Amazon is commodity-esque. It's baseline. What I'm referring to is offers. When you're making your book, not just a book, but it comes off as an offer. This is how, you heard about hearing the book offers on traditional. This is the other side. When you make an offer that you're providing so much value, so much, quality, high quality experience that you're able to take people on a customer journey, and you provide more and more and more and more value. This is why customer data matters, kings and queens. So when you have an email list, you can't build an email list off of Amazon directly. They're never going to share the customer data with you. So this is why self-publishing, to me, this is one of the biggest secrets. When I learned that, I was like, oh my gosh. So let's say 100,000 people bought my book, or let's say 100,000 people bought your book, right? If 100,000 people bought your book off of Amazon, you don't know really the metrics of how this stuff works behind the scenes, you just want to put your book out, you could be losing 100,000, emails. Imagine what that could do if you could email those people every month about your offers. You know how much money you're leaving on the table? You know how much wealth? You know how much millions? You know how much billions? You know how much opportunities you're leaving on the table, kings and queens? Kings and queens. We got to do better, and that's why I'm doing this video, so that you are educated and you know the options that are available to you. You need to get customer data. Okay, it's super important. This is an age right now where if you want to compete with, not even compete, if you want to dominate in your lane, I don't even care about competing. If you want to dominate in your lane, you have to be in the place where you can gain customer data and you can provide value once you've accessed that data. So again, imagine all these benefits of when you get customer data, right? As I said before, a wise person once said, the fortune's in the follow-up. So by getting customer data, it allows you to take people on a customer journey. You can reward them with loyalty points when they buy from you. You can give special access to your super fans, give birthday coupons, a big one. That's a major gem right there. You can tell them about your new products. You can get feedback on how you can best serve them. Best serve them. It's not about just you getting paid. How are you serving people to change their lives, When someone is a super fan of you, how do you make them feel amazing? How do you just provide the best experience? The best experience is possible once you gain customer data. It's so important. It's so important. It's so important. It's why I literally went from just making manga, which is these, BOLDSAGA, to doing this. It's why I created 7 steps to creating a dream manga series. This is literally how anyone can create their dream manga series while saving thousands of dollars and years of time. Like, we literally did this book for you. And at the end, it says, where will your dreams take you next? Because a lot of people don't understand how this stuff works. They're like, I want to get it done, but how do I actually go through it? Well, we got over 100 pages of excellence. It's just 7 steps. 7 steps. And that's all you need. And that's why we made this, because and what I'm talking about today, all that and more is in this book. So again, you are just 7 steps away from getting to that book. And we talk about customer data. We talk about the best options, the ones that we use. Imagine that. We have a system that I'm the one that's working on it along with my wife. Our team, we definitely know this is a better option. Better option for authors, better option for passionate entrepreneurs that want to make their first book. Yeah, we've got you covered. We got you covered. So again, this is the truth. I made the book because I wanted to let passionate entrepreneurs give you the tools so you can create, protect, and market your series faster, your manga series faster, your book series faster. That's why I made the book. So the verdict is in, kings and queens. It's a landslide. Self-publishing is the best method for creating your first book. For producing it, that's what we recommend. But there are exceptions, because there's exceptions to everything. So what are they? Well, traditional publishing is best after you've blown up, after you're well known, after you're a household name. Then you can get into traditional publishing. But before that, you should best believe it's better to do self-publishing. Best believe. After you've actually established your platform, after you've engineered your celebrity, that's when you should get into traditional. But for starters, if you're a passionate entrepreneur, you got that book idea, you want to get it done, you're a groundbreaker, you see yourself as someone who's, you think differently, you're like a maverick, you have these crazy, amazing thoughts, and you're not going to let, someone else's opinion of you limit your greatness. You have no limits. Yes, yes. You have that breakthrough, the Nexus breakthrough. You have it. You see it. You know you can get it done. A book is what you need. Yes, self-publishing is where you got to go, because you may have an idea that the publisher may say no to, or they just don't understand what you're talking about. Did you know that when Stan Lee first made Spider-Man, he was talking to someone about it and they said, no, that's a stupid idea. Why would you do that? I'm paraphrasing. And then afterwards, when Spider-Man blew up, he was basically like, oh yeah, that's a great idea. See, people may not understand your vision, so it's not for them, it's for you. That's why you make your own books. That's why you understand self-publishing, so you can create the story that God gave you. Don't just let people's limits stop you. Remind yourself, I got no limits. So again, starting out, self-publishing is how you can get quick wins and gain customer data for long-term success. And that is the biggest secret to traditional versus self-publishing. Like, comment, share, subscribe if this video helped you get closer to your dreams. And until next time, keep winning, kings and queens.